Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. Today we are continuing to talk about the Ice Princess. Last week we said we were jumping to 2013. Turns out we forgot about the little chunk in like 1999 to 2001.
Yes.
But it wasn't done the same way that the 1981 and then the 2013 was done. It was a very drawn out storyline.
Right.
And there was no official write-up for it, how there have been for the other ones. And even looking for videos, like it wasn't the Ice Princess 1999. Mm-mm. The majority of it is in Helena's Endgame video series. But it's like it started in video 1, but then didn't get talked about again until video 53.
People should pay more attention to Helena, because I'm also wondering if whenever they pulled the thingy, the SD card or whatever it is, it's not an SD card. What is it?
Microchip? What are you talking about?
Whatever she recorded that message recently for Luke's funeral.
The flash drive.
Flash drive.
Oh, how did you not?
I need your husband to remind me what it's called. Him and Sonny can help me. When they pulled the flash drive and didn't listen to the rest of the message, maybe if they would have listened to the rest of it,
there would have been information on there.
Right. Why are we not going back to that?
I don't know.
They're not very smart.
I don't know.
After Jennifer Smith showed up talking about having the Ice Princess, I would have definitely gone back and listened to that. Well, maybe they will later, because they haven't realized that maybe it's cold some days because of or hot some days because of the Ice Princess.
Right.
So,
true.
Hopefully they didn't throw that away.
We'll see. So it kind of started for a second. So we are using, basically, I think it was all grabbed a little bit from Helena's General Hospital fandom, but then also from Soap Central's Who's Who in Port Charles, Helena Cassadine's write-up. But in 1999, it was revealed that Luke was chipping off. This is from the General Hospital fandom about the Ice Princess. And it said in 1999, it was revealed that Luke was chipping off pieces of the Ice Princess diamond and selling them to a man named Craig, not realizing it was actually Faison.
Okay. The Ice Princess was not that large. Again, I was picturing the Hope Diamond whenever they first started talking about it before we really went into this. It's not that big. He was chipping off pieces in 99, and now Tracy just got in trouble for chipping off pieces. Why would you want a piece that little?
It's still worth a lot.
Diamond flakes, it sounds like we're getting.
But when it's like that, I don't know.
I'm just saying, how much can we chip off of this thing? If we're assuming it's a regular diamond,
right?
We're not buying it for the secrets that are buried underneath of it in the base, then why are we just chipping away pieces of the diamond?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just saying we're ruining a perfectly fine diamond for no reason.
But so the one thing that I noticed is they kept referring to the island as Ice Princess Island, not Cassadine Island, how it had been referred to, right? Okay. In General Hospital fandom, in the underground bunker write-up, it said, in 2000, Helena had brought Lucky Spencer to the island, played chess, and showed him the machinery that Mikos had created, bending the truth about what it would be used for. And during this trip, Luke and Laura had followed along, and eventually Felicia came because she had overheard Ms. Lansbury talking with somebody else. And this is when the passcode was 1023. Laura came up with it because they were trying to figure out the passcode and everything. Luke's like, oh yeah, wait, it was Ice Princess. And so they're spelling it. And Laura's like, wait, 1023. And I think it was Felicia asked, what's that? And she's like, Mikos and Helena's anniversary. So,
well, I mean, that's a better password than Ice Princess, because I said I feel like Ice Princess is the equivalent of password.
Yep. And then in 2001, the catacombs deep below Port Charles were modeled after the same labyrinth as Mikos' subterranean lab, tunnel for tunnel.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is the lab where Mikos and Helena's son Stavros was cryogenically frozen in 1983. Oops, I forgot one resource we used was soapsheknows.com. They had a Throwback Thursday.
Okay.
And that one said, shortly after his Valentine's Day wedding to Elizabeth Weber in 1999, and this is Jonathan Jackson.
To marry multiple people on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Lucky Spencer was thought to have tragically died in a fire. Instead, he was being held captive by Cesar Faison at the request of Helena Cassadine. In 2000, Helena released Lucky and he returned to Port Charles, where it quickly became clear that he was a changed man. He refused to reconnect with Elizabeth or his parents, and when Dr. Kevin Collins seemed to be making some progress, Helena used the Ice Princess diamond to hurt Lucky further, erasing his memories and causing him to have violent reactions towards the ones he loved the most. Someone finally convinced Lucky to get help, but he was never really the same again. And this kind of explains away how he's the absent father and stuff like that the old Lucky would
never have done.
But so those are kind of like the overviews. But then as we get into Soap Central for the Who's Who in Port Charles, it goes a little bit deeper into the actual nitty gritty of that storyline.
Okay. So Helena has a partner in crime, Cesar Faison. They've always been partners in crime. I'm not sure why they say it like that. They had already plotted to kidnap and brainwash Lucky Spencer, and Faison was eager to continue. So he found an antidote and gave it to Helena, but it didn't work. Disappointed, Faison left to carry on the plan alone, but the antidote had worked and Helena recovered, although she didn't let anyone else in on her little secret. Instead, she plotted to bust up the impending marriage of Nicholas and Catherine.
Which just shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. But so then there was a lot about that storyline, so I kind of just like really skimmed through that and jumped ahead.
You didn't want to hear all about Nicholas and Catherine?
No.
Helena decided to frame her partner in crime, Faison. She rescued him from jail and then blew up his boat to prevent him from contradicting her. Helena was then free to continue her plan for Lucky Spencer. No one knew that she had him until Stefan discovered him one day at Helena's Nova Scotia retreat, although he kept silent about his discovery. Alexis taunted Helena that she also knew that Helena had Lucky, so Helena tried to run Alexis down with her car. Alexis has a lot of car accidents.
Yeah.
However, Helena actually hit Chloe Morgan, who was dressed up to look like Alexis. Chloe survived, but couldn't remember who was driving the car that had hit her. Oh, I miss Chloe.
And you can go back and listen to All About Chloe when we talked about the fact that Alexis and Ned and Jax and Chloe I forget what the name of, I think it was literally just
couple swap, marriage swap.
I think it was Jax, Chloe, Alexis, Ned.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think that's how we named it. But we did an entire 411 all about, because that was really the only storyline that Chloe had. So I think that's just, I think we did that during the pandemic, like during quarantine, didn't we?
We did it whenever they first started doing the Michael and Willow and Chase.
Yes.
Sasha.
Yes. To see if they were going to be.
Baby. Yeah. Yep. They were going to do the same exact storyline, which they kind of sort of did.
And this just goes to also show, so Lucky was not on screen during all of this.
Right.
So this is kind of like what we're doing right now we're talking about things but we're not seeing it on screen. So that's why I took out all that stuff about Nicholas too. Cause I'm like, it was literally months before Lucky was even mentioned again.
Yeah. So Helena then sped up her plans for Lucky. She took him on a tour of places important in the history of the Spencers, including Ice Princess Island and his birthplace in Texas. They left clues along the way for Luke and Laura to follow them. Helena and Lucky's last stop was in British Columbia at the Triple L Diner where the Spencer clan had lived before going back to Port Charles. It was there that Helena released Lucky, but it wasn't the same Lucky that she had originally taken prisoner.
And I think, and this is when we cast change.
Yeah.
And this was Jacob Young, who did...
The cast change was in the middle of all of these tours because they were going to Port Charles, but they weren't staying in Port Charles. And she was promising him that she would release him eventually, but now was not the time. And that was the new Lucky.
Yes. Because they were on the plane and he was like, well, why did you take me there?
If you're not going to let me go.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, we'll get to that, my darling. And then they played some chess together because that's what they like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So while in her care, Helena had brainwashed Lucky to focus only on the anger and hatred he felt for his parents when he found out about Luke raping Laura years ago at the campus disco. After releasing Lucky, Helena prepared to return to Port Charles, but Stefan intervened by having her arrested for kidnapping Lucky. However, there was no evidence that a kidnapping had ever taken place, so she was released. What? Helena getting out? What are you talking about?
I am shocked. by this turn of events.
She returned to Port Charles, where she sat back and kept an eye on Lucky while dodging questions from Stefan and Nicholas regarding Lucky's location. When Lucky's doctor talked with Stefan and Alexis, Helena had him killed to prevent any further interaction.
This is almost like how we are with Drew right now.
Yes.
Because Lucky is just sitting idle.
Yep.
Not activated.
I like your little...
Activated.
It's just
I got a little
idle. She had a little jump in her while she said that. When Lucky returned to Port Charles, he was under Helena's control, but didn't realize it for a while. Helena instructed him to push Elizabeth away.
What if Drew is going to be activated by the Ice Princess?
Oh, that would be
instead
good.
of the tarot cards, and that's how it's. So what if Helena's really not dead again? Even though I know exactly, she needs to stay dead.
No.
However, maybe that's it. Victor is gonna try all the tarot cards, and then he'll be sitting there like, well, I got this Ice Princess, and Drew's going to go, boom.
And then Courtney's going to come out.
Shut up! No! I don't think I've yelled.
Oh my gosh. So, when Lucky returned to Port Charles, he was under Helena's control, but didn't realize it for a while. Helena instructed him to push Elizabeth away and encouraged her to be with Nicholas because Nicholas is the one that loves her. This made Elizabeth suspicious, and eventually they figure out that he had been brainwashed by Helena, who still had control over him. Lucky then went to a psychiatrist who tried to deprogram him. They really need just like a whole special wing of the hospital for deprogramming because the amount of people they have to deprogram. Do you want to pick up?
Yeah. So
I couldn't read.
But also, like, this doesn't flow that well because I was literally like copying, pasting like paragraphs away from each other.
Right, because it was getting into
all the other stuff
that you don't need.
So then a few months later, Helena had Lucky poison Lucas with a mysterious virus, and then she approached Lucas's father, Dr. Tony Jones, with an offer. She would help him cure his son if he helped to cure her son. And this is everything that you can go to our 411 that talked about the unfreezing of Stavros because talks all about how Tony was brought in on that. Tony was confused until she showed him her underground lab where cryogenically frozen Stavros was being kept. Reluctantly, and this was the labyrinth that's under the hospital. Reluctantly, Tony agreed to her demands. When Lucky tried to break free of Helena's control by leaving town with Elizabeth, Helena gave him a ring to give to Elizabeth. Laura recognized the ring as the one she had been given by Stavros, and they realized that Lucky's programming was back. Helena used her power over Lucky to get him to do various things. When Lucky got arrested and thrown in jail for assaulting Stefan, Helena snuck in and gave him the means to start a fire and bust out.
Oh my.
With Tony's help, Stavros finally came back from the dead, and Helena was ecstatic. But she was disappointed when his first words were Laura. She had plans for them to destroy their enemies and rule the world, but he wanted to get Laura and Nicholas back to become a family. Helena also wanted Nicholas back in the Cassadine fold. She began to entice him by claiming everything that he'd heard about his father was a lie. Nicholas wavered at first, and Stavros was suspicious of his loyalty. Ultimately, Nicholas became a Cassadine again and even pushed Gia away at Helena's request. I watched so much of this yesterday because I was doing my taxes. It was so good. But Helena didn't realize that Nicholas and Luke had teamed up to try to figure out what Helena's plans were. Stavros told his mother to back off whenever she warned about him wandering around in public and informed her that he wasn't interested in her plans of world domination, just in getting back Nicholas and Laura. He even promised to kill Helena if she tried to come between them.
Ooh. Don't go against your mother's wishes there. Helena enacted the first stage of her plans and summoned Lucky to help her lab. Under her powers over him, she commanded him to inject Luke with a biotoxin that would slowly destroy his mind and make him ineffective in trying to stop her. Lucky tried to resist but couldn't and regretfully injected Luke. Helena told Luke that she'd miss him as an opponent before having him dumped in an alley. She later went on to see him at his place, and in a moment of clarity, he nearly strangled her. Helena remained satisfied with Nicholas's behavior and loyalty, but Stavros had his own doubts. To try to gain information about how Helena controlled Lucky, Nicholas ordered her to erase Lucky's memories of Liz so that Nicholas could have her. As Liz secretly watched from her hiding place, Helena used the Ice Princess to systematically erase all of Lucky's memories of his love for Liz. After witnessing this, Liz tried several times to find find the ice princess hidden in Helena's hotel room before she was successful. Helena was not pleased to discover it missing and suspected Elizabeth of stealing it. Elizabeth wasn't certain how to use it, and Lucky ended up throwing it into the river. Fed up with Stefan's anger towards her and his plans for the Cassadine fortune, Helena ordered Stavros to get rid of Stefan and frame Jax for the murder. Instead, Stavros killed Chloe when she figured out his identity, and Stefan ended up arrested and charged with her murder. As a test of loyalty for Nicholas, Helena forced him to back up her story that Chloe had been afraid of Stefan and had come to them for protection. Nicholas complied and passed the test, but Helena continued to doubt his abilities and his choices in women. Well, that's not shocking. What if Victor is still holding hatred towards Elizabeth on behalf of Helena, and that's who's messing with her?
Ooh, okay.
We can mix it all together. Okay. That would be good. Because I can't think of anyone else that's messing with Elizabeth and why.
Yeah.
So
nope, I like it.
I like it better than anything else.
I like it a lot.
Frustrated, Nicholas offered to break it off with Elizabeth, but she had something else in mind. She wanted him to kill Elizabeth. Stavros agreed with Helena's test of loyalty for Nicholas, but warned her that Gia had overheard the request. Helena wondered if Gia would spoil their plans, but was thrilled when Nicholas passed the test and killed Elizabeth.
Quotes.
Yes. I don't know why they can't see me doing it in the air. When Lucy came by to accuse her of killing Chloe, Luke, and Elizabeth, she produced the ice princess that had disposed of and got him to admit that Luke was alive, but he didn't know where he was located. Stefan had figured out that Stavros was alive and confronted him. Stefan overpowered his brother, tied him up, and demanded that Helena show him her underground lab. When she tried to distract him with praise, he informed her that it was too late for that. Stavros escaped his bonds and went to the lab where Stefan was overpowered and tied up. Then Helena brought Nicholas to the lab to reveal her secret project, air quotes also. As a last test, Stavros pretended to be still frozen in the chamber, and Helena introduced Nicholas to his father. Left alone, Nicholas expressed hatred for Stavros, but kissed the chamber to make it look like he loved Stavros to espying Helena in the next room. Helena also revealed to Nicholas that she programmed Lucky to prevent anyone else from stopping her plans. Helena was elated that Nicholas seemed thrilled by Stavros' return, but Stavros told her what had actually said. He told her that Nicholas's hatred hurt him, but roared at Helena to leave Nicholas alone when she suggested that they could program Nicholas to love him.
And this is kind of where I decided that this one ends, because it didn't have an end. It was, Lucky eventually got treatment and stuff like that, but that wasn't in any of that. The only thing that was written in his write-ups was that he went to see Kevin Collins and got deprogrammed. So there wasn't, maybe this is why it's not really talked about that much, because there's not a
storyline with no end?
What?
That never happens. What are you talking about?
A clear end.
Huh.
But
can't imagine.
I felt like it was important for us to cover this little section because it explains how
the Ice Princess is used in multiple ways.
But also, Helena was not in the 1981.
No.
She was nowhere.
Nope.
So I guess I didn't realize that. I guess I thought that she was at least next to Mikos as all this was going on. She wasn't anywhere in it. Helena does not get introduced until Luke and Laura's wedding, and it's Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't even mentioned.
No.
I knew she wasn't in it, but I was thinking, was there a point when they said, my mother, my wife, my somebody? No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was a woman, so she couldn't be left with any of that knowledge because women
we don't trust the women.
Anything. Women are bad.
Please sense the sarcasm.
But it's funny that they thought women were so bad, but all of this freezing, unfreezing, kidnapping people was around the love for Laura and then the love of Lulu coming up.
Yes.
So,
but the original Ice Princess story had zip to do with Luke and Laura. They happened to be, they weren't the way that I always heard, the way that it always sounded to me was like it was already a vendetta or
right.
It was against Luke and Laura is the reason why we did this to Port Charles. And
right.
They just happened to be the people.
Yes.
Helena's Ice Princess is against Luke and Laura because she believes that they intentionally killed Mikos. I'm starting to understand the Cassidines a lot more now.
Don't understand. Don't understand them.
Not to that degree, but you know what I mean?
Don't understand them. No.
So we needed this little filler to explain how Helena came to have the Ice Princess.
Because she got out of the river.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But join us next week as we share the 2013. That was a full storyline.
That was a full storyline. That was a good storyline.
So we will share more about that then. But we needed to have this little...
Right.
1.5. So join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review. And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.